Hello guys and welcome to my channel. My name is Jesper, and on this channel here we are talking about skincare, and today we are going to talk about sunscreens, because sunscreens, they are very important in order to preserve your skin in a nice and lovely condition as we get older. So that is obviously something you would like to use, but there is just that little thing about sunscreens that they can contain a lot of nasty stuff. So today we are going to look at one that contains zinc oxide, and there can be a little bit of some issues with it when it is radiated by UV light and stuff like that. But as such, it is regarded usually as something that is very like zen, or if you like, really good for your skin in order to not disturb your skin and all that sort of thing. But there is actually a little bit an issue, and that is interesting, because particularly this one here we are going to talk about today, it is Hawaiian Tropic, and it looks like this. And we are going to look at one other one, and that is another one that looks like this, and basically it just looks like a mini version of the other one, and maybe it is. We are going to look at this one here, the mineral stick they have as well. So this sort of a powder you can put onto your face, and there are of course a little bit of some issues that we need to address. But the thing is, as I said, this stuff here, it says Hawaiian Tropic, and actually is it so that zinc oxide maybe can go in and irritate the corals, so the coral reefs, and that is not particularly great, because that is something they are talking a lot about in Hawaii for a good reason, obviously, because they have a lot of coral reefs, and we should all help and all that sort of thing to preserve it and all that good stuff. So that is a little bit sunscreen. Yes, it is difficult, but we need to use it, else just have to stay indoors always, and that is not great either. So we need a little bit of vitamin D in our body, and that we get from being exposed to sunlight. So yes, it is really difficult. So if you have seen, I have had this one here behind me in some of the videos, and I have not made a review on it until now, because I knew they had one for the face, and that was this one here that I just showed you. And I have actually contacted Hawaiian Tropic and asked them if what is in this one here is the same as in this one here, because when you look at the ingredients list, then it is actually exactly the same that is in these two products, and in the same sort of order. So I thought, well, should we not try this one here on one side of my face and the other one on the other side of the face, so we can see if there is a sort of a different, well, at least they do smell exactly the same. They have this sort of a tropical, if you like, coconut-ish sort of a smell, I guess, that they think is something that you think about if you are thinking about Hawaii. So maybe it smells like that in Hawaii as this one here do. I have not been to Hawaii, so I can't really say for sure. So if we just have a little look at this one here, that is the one I would say is maybe something that people will say that is really easy on the go, just to add a little bit extra, top up during the day and that sort of thing. Well, I would say if you are wearing a sunscreen that has these sort of conventional sun filters, the ones that have been used for decades, then these organic ones, then not organic as in organic, but as in organic chemistry, then using this one on top when it contains zinc oxide, that might not be a great idea, because it can actually go in and break down those other sun filters, so that would not be really great. Another thing is, of course, we can just open it, and it has this sort of brush, and you can see, oops, it gives a bit of a, because I have tried it on actually, and what it does is that you're just smearing this stuff on. I will not put it on now, because then I could not say really exactly how these ones are working, but we can just put it on my hand here, and you can see it. First of all, there's a lot of dust coming everywhere, really. So it goes like this, and maybe you can see that it starts to be a little bit whitish, but I wouldn't say that it's a whole lot. But the thing is, obviously, that this color here, I think they say something about that it is good for all sort of a skin tone or something like that. But actually this one will obviously leave a white sort of powder on your skin. So we have a very dark skin, it will be visible. And I also think that even on my skin, if I use the correct amount, And how much should I actually use when I'm having a stick like this or a brush like this? Well, I think if I use the correct amount, it will be possible to see on my face. And particularly, I should not take sort of photos and stuff like that. So like, don't use it for your wedding, for example. So this one here, you have no idea really how much you're putting on, and they show images where it is just there is a girl and she's taking this one, just swiping on the skin, and it's kind of like as if that was okay. She would have absolutely no idea how much she's putting on. So there is just a little thing, and that is if you must use something like this and really like this sort of thing, and you have a darker skin tone, well then obviously you cannot use this one here. So what you can actually do is up here, you can actually unscrew it. If you just like that, comes, whoops, like that. So actually this one here is colored with iron oxide, so yellow, red and black. So actually you can just add a little bit more of the color that you want in order to give it your sort of a skin tone. And you can actually get these pre-mixed ones. You can actually get one that is a mix, so you have this sort of a brownish color. So you could well, basically take a little bit of that. You need very, very, very little of it in order to make a difference for the hue on this one here, so for the color. So I would say yes, this stuff here goes everywhere, and it still has this sort of a smell, and it contains a papaya fruit extract, and the other ones here, they do it as well. There is that little thing about papaya. It sounds really lovely and papaya tastes nice, but when you're using the enzyme from it, so which would be in an extract, then it would actually be so that it is a meat softener, so you don't want a lot of that on your skin basically. So yeah, that was this little thing here. I would say it definitely is not something I'm going to use because I have no idea how much I'm putting on my skin. So if we just leave that one, then we are left with these two here, and I am actually pretty sure that it is exactly the same, but there is a very big difference anyway, and that is because this one here, yes, you guessed it, you get a lot less in this than in this one, but guess what? Per milliliter, this is a lot more expensive. So if it is actually exactly the same, well, why not buy the big one here? So yes, but I did not hear anything from Hawaiian Tropic, so they did not tell me how if they were exactly the same. So here goes. We will try this one here and put it on this side here. So we have this annoying spoon, and there is 1 milliliter, and for my face we actually need 1.25 milliliter. So if we just to be kind to the product, we just use 1 milliliter. So that was 1 pump, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is 1 milliliter, but actually I need a lot more for my entire face if I am putting it on my neck as well. So here we will just take half of it, because just put it on this side here. So we'll just take it out like that and scrape it out with my finger. Voila, like that. So we have it now like here, and I would take just sort of like half of it. This is not very scientific, I know, but here we go. Put it on here. And just take the other part off here. I would say it might be that I could be a little bit more precise and use a little bit more like half of 1.25 milliliter. But I guess if we're looking for the color, and that is obviously a huge issue, then I think that we will see a little bit of something, so that we will quickly find out that even if I have used half the amount or double the amount or whatever, it will be really problematic. So it goes on like this, and it has this sort of perfume to it. Sort of like, it's not unpleasant, but it's more like if you have this on all day long, I think you will get really, really tired of this sort of smell. I think it would be more like a smell than a perfume. So like this here. And yes, you can see that I will become white in the face. So like that, and obviously you can put it on your eyelids as well. So pretty much, if you have a darker skin tone than I have, obviously I don't have white skin, because then my skin would match this color, and it doesn't. So even for me, this is rather problematic. So yeah, this is sort of it, and it doesn't help if I just take the whole thing into my the palm of my hand and just smear, because you see some people do that. They put on and then like that, and then down we go and all that. Then you don't really know how much you're getting on the skin. And I can say, as usually when I'm using something that has a zinc oxide or titanium dioxide in it, then I get this sort of warming sort of sensation on my skin. Maybe some of you have tried that as well. It goes away. It's not something hugely problematic, but it's just something that I noticed. So here we go. I guess you can see there is a difference on my face from this side here to that side there. And particularly, as I said, if you have dark skin, then it will be rather visible. So this was obviously only half of 1 milliliter, so that was for one side of the face, but actually I need a little bit more. So if we take the other one, and that is this one here, just shake it up for good measure, and then we go in and do the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There was 8 in the other one, so 7, 8. This pump here gives a bit more. So I have a little bit more than 1 milliliter, but I don't think that is 1.25 milliliter. So if we do exactly the same, take it out in my hand, and then take the rest of it, voila, like that, you can see. And then like that. And then we kind of like takes half of it, voila, like that. And then on the other side. So that was what is left. And still, this is not enough. It's not 1.25 milliliters, so I actually need a lot more. So this is just to see if there is a difference. It's interesting because when you look at the ingredients list, I wouldn't say that there is a difference, and they didn't answer back. So I don't really know, but it seems to me, and that's also when I tried it some time ago, that it is more white than the other side. So maybe there is more zinc oxide in it. I don't know. It seems like it's a little bit different, but I don't know. It does seem a lot more white on this side. I mean, yes, it needs a little time to sink in, but maybe they have put a bit more zinc oxide in it. I mean, both of them, as you see on the front here, they are an SPF of 30, so that is both of them. You can see that was the small one, and you have the big one here, that is an SPF of 30. So this just feels like it's definitely a bit more white. Is it supposed to be like that? Is it actually exactly the same there is in? Or is it more like if you are using it on your body, maybe you are more likely to really smear it out, and therefore they thought maybe add a little bit more? Or is it just, well, this one was shaken up a little bit more than this one here, so it needed shaking up a bit more or something like that. I mean, something there with the minerals in it, it needs to be shaken. So this stuff here, obviously, if I had to choose, I think I would use this one, even that it is more expensive. But I would like to know if it is exactly the same that are in it. It just feels like this is a lot more white, so I would say, even though the ingredients list is the same, there could be a little bit of a difference in the ingredients list, but not enough to make it so that they have to put them in a different order. But this stuff here, it feels a lot more greasy than this one here. Actually, so maybe there is a difference. It might be there is more stuff in to take up the greasiness on this side here than on this one here. So maybe there is a difference, and it justified that this one here is a little bit more expensive, or a lot more expensive than this one here, because this one here definitely it is a lot more greasy than the other one, even that this has not been sitting on as long as the other one. So anyway, it doesn't really matter, because I will not be going anywhere looking like this unless I was going to the beach, where maybe there would be other people looking the same. But just on a daily basis, I would say maybe if I worked in a circus or something like that. But I don't. So I would say I would leave this on a daily basis on the shelf. there is just another thing to say about the product, and that is another reason why I would leave it on this shelf, because it is so that if you take something like this one here, or this one here, and you look at the front, and it says Skin Nourishing Milk LAIT Nourrissant, and it says that it's a zinc oxide that they're using, so a mineral sunscreen. Then you're thinking, well, then there would not be any sort of organic sun filters in it, and that is true. There is no organic sun filters in it, but it is just that little thing, and there is something called butyl salicylate in this product here, and this one here as well, but not in this one here. But that is actually an ingredient that is sort of supposed to be somehow good for the skin, or it helps other stuff in the ingredients list to dissolve or stay put in the lotion a little bit better, stuff like that. But it is, yes, you guessed it, it is a salicylate. And the thing about these organic sun fillers is that oftentimes they are salicylates, and the problem with that is that they break down in your body to salicylic acid, and the salicylic acid, we have spoken a lot about that before, and that is something that in animal studies has been shown to be a hormone disruptor. So is there a difference with this butyl salicylate? No, it is basically just the same that is going on when it goes into your body, and that is it breaks down into salicylic acid, and there you have the same sort of issues as if you have been using a conventional organic sunscreen. So yes, I would say this is something I would say is a little bit it is a little bit misleading, but of course it is a mineral sunscreen as such, because there are no organic sun filters in it. But as I said, there is just this thing that is butyl salicylate, and it has the same sort of issue as the organic sun filter. So there you go, it is a problem as well, and it's something about, I think I've read that is usually used up to about 5% or something like that, but that is actually rather a lot for something that is breaking down to salicylic acid. So that, I would say, this stuff here, it is maybe not as innocent as you might think it was, and I think that the people at Hawaiian Tropic, I don't think they realize that the issues with the organic sun fillers is that a lot of them breaks down to salicylic acid, and therefore this butyl salicylate is an issue. So maybe I should tell them, and maybe they will take the stuff out, because that doesn't really have an effect on the product as such for how it is protecting you against the sun. So maybe they could find some sort of other ingredient to put in. So yes, that was my little verdict on this stuff here. As you can see, still when I look in the mirror, it's kind of like starts to come down a little bit, but over here definitely it doesn't look like there is that much of a white cast issue than here, but I mean still it's a problem. And if you have a dark skin, like, well, this is really, it's not gonna work, and it is it's more than just a tad greasy, I would say. And on this side here, it is greasy. It's maybe not as bad as on this side here, and it might be that yes, it is exactly the same there are in those two bottles, and it might be that it is not, and it's just for whatever reason when I try one bottle on this side here, then because it might not have been shaken up that well compared to this one here, but actually it is exactly the same there are in, I don't know, I just see when I look on my face that if I had to choose, I would take this one here, but I think it is the same that I'm in, but just for whatever reason looks a little bit different. So yes, that was my little verdict on this stuff here. I would say if you are a little bit sort of like I don't want organic filters, I don't want something that is breaking down to salicylic acid in my body, then definitely I would not take this one here. So yes, that was a little revelation for you there. So if you'd like to see more of this sort of videos, please subscribe to the bell and do other things you must do in order to be notified when I upload more of this sort of videos. Thank you for watching. See you. Bye.